What if I go over there and I touch it and it sings? Does that mean they got to make me king?
So he not only went out and found himself, but he just experienced life. He experienced life without the power of the crown. Hey everybody, welcome in to Folklore and Flourish. You're here with Jane and Mark and Blue Box 29. Today is January 29th. We are going into our final 3 days of January, the Seeker crossing the veil. This is all of our shadow work in the winter months, but this month specifically was the month between worlds. So we are crossing the veil. We have now come back and we are returning back. Today is the crown. The theme is worthiness claimed. Our 4 stories come from Egyptian, Irish, Incan, and Hindu folklore. So those are your 4 stories, and we'll see you after this. Before we begin, I want to take a moment to honor the cultures behind the stories we are about to explore. The tales shared here come from many peoples, lands, and traditions. I do not change these stories to fit modern expectations or to align with today's social standards. Instead, I present them as they were told, sometimes beautiful, sometimes harsh, sometimes challenging. We are not here to judge the past, but to understand it, to listen, to learn, and to honor the ancestors who carried these stories forward. We also share stories from various religious traditions. These are presented in their historical and spiritual context, with respect for their beliefs that they represent. Every culture deserves respect, context, and acknowledgement, and this space is dedicated to doing exactly that. Story 1. Horus takes the throne of the 2 lands. In Egyptian tradition, worthiness is not assumed. It is proven through endurance. Horus was born into fracture. His father, Osiris, rightful king of Egypt, had been murdered and dismembered by his brother Set, whose rule followed not by legitimacy, but by force. Isis gathered Osiris's scattered body, restored him enough to conceive a son, and hid that child from Set's reach. Horus was raised in secrecy, in marsh and shadow. His childhood was marked by vulnerability rather than privilege. He was stung, wounded, poisoned, and threatened before he ever touched a crown. Egyptian myth does not romanticize this protection. Horus survived not because he is destined, but because he is guarded, taught, and tested. When Horus reached maturity, he did not simply claim kingship. He contested it. The gods convened a divine tribunal to decide who should rule Egypt. Set, the powerful and violent usurper, or Horus, the rightful but unproven heir. The trial did not resolve quickly. It lasted years. The gods themselves argued legitimacy required more than blood. Set challenged Horus through contests of strength, endurance, and cunning. They raced boats, they transformed into animals, they fought directly. Horus lost an eye in the struggle, a wound that did not disqualify him. It marked him. The eye of Horus became symbol rather than weakness. It represented restoration, balance, and the cost of rightful rule. The eye was healed, but not erased. Egyptian kingship demanded wholeness that included sacrifice. Set, for all his might, revealed himself through excess. His violence disrupted order rather than sustaining it. Horus, though younger and less imposing, demonstrated restraint, patience, and alignment with Ma'at, the principle of cosmic balance and justice. Eventually, the tribunal ruled. Horus was crowned king of the two lands, Upper and Lower Egypt, unified under rightful authority. Set was not destroyed entirely. He was given a place in the cosmos as force rather than ruler. Chaos was acknowledged, not enthroned. Horus's coronation did not erase suffering, it redeemed it. The crown Horus wore was not an ornament, it was responsibility made visible. Egyptian pharaohs were thereafter understood not as gods ruling by whim, but as stewards of Ma'at, tasked with maintaining balance between land, people, and the divine. Horus teaches that worthiness is not the absence of injury. It is a willingness to rule without becoming what wounded you. To stand crowned is not to be elevated above consequence. It is to accept it fully. Story 2. The High Kings and the Stone That Spoke. In Irish tradition, kingship is not seized, it is recognized. At the center of Ireland stands the Hill of Tara, a place layered with myth, memory, and authority. Tara was not merely a seat of power, it was a testing ground. To rule Ireland was not to dominate it, but to be accepted by it. The High King, Ard Rí, was bound to the land itself. Kingship was believed to be conditional upon right conduct. A king who ruled unjustly would bring famine, disease, and disorder. A king who ruled in harmony ensured abundance. The crown was not inherited without question. It was weighed. Among the most potent symbols of this tradition was the Leah foil, the stone of destiny. The stone stood at Tara long before recorded history. According to myth, it was brought by the Tuatha De Danann, the divine people who preceded human settlement. The Leah foil was not carved to impress. It was plain. Its power lay not in appearance, but in response. When the rightful king placed his feet upon it, the stone would cry out. Not metaphorically. It was said to roar so loudly that its sound echoed across the land. If the claimant was false, the stone remained silent. No persuasion could force it. The land itself judged. One of the most enduring stories concerns Cormac Mac Art, among the greatest of Ireland's legendary kings. Cormac did not ascend easily. His father had been killed unjustly. His early rule was tested by hardship and resistance. Yet Cormac governed with fairness, wisdom, and restraint. Under his reign, harvests flourished, justice was administered evenly, and the land responded with abundance. Cormac's authority was not rooted in conquest. It was rooted in balance. Irish law texts describe the king's guise, sacred obligations placed upon him. There was not personal taboos, but moral limits. To break them endangered not only the king, but the entire realm. Kingship required self-discipline above all. There are stories of kings who failed. When a king ruled falsely, rivers ran dry, crops failed, cows gave sour milk, the land reflected moral disorder. In such cases, a king could be removed without rebellion. His failure was evident in the earth itself. The crown in Irish myth is not a reward. It is a vow. To stand at Tara was to stand exposed. The stone did not care for lineage alone. It answered truth. A king could be born royal and still be rejected. Another could rise from obscurity and be accepted if he embodied justice. The High Kings of Tara ruled not because they claimed greatness, but because the land did not resist them. Worthiness was measured by harmony. The crown belonged to the one who caused the world to remain whole. Story 3. The Ascension of the Sapa Inca and the Will of the Sun. In Inca tradition, the crown is not claimed. It descends. The Sapa Inca, the unique Inca, was not merely a ruler. He was a living mediator between heaven and earth, the human vessel through which the sun, Inti, maintained order in the world. To be crowned was not to be elevated above others. It was to be burdened with balance. The first Sapa Inca, Manco Capac, established a pattern all others were required to follow. He did not seize power through conquest alone. He was recognized through alignment. The land received him. The people gathered to him. The sun confirmed him. Later, Inca rulers were measured against this origin. Succession was not automatic. Although royal blood mattered, it was not enough. A future Sapa Inca was observed from youth. He was tested for discipline, endurance, restraint, and capacity to serve. Physical strength mattered, but spiritual steadiness mattered more. A ruler unable to govern himself could not govern an empire. Before coronation, the chosen heir underwent rites of purification. He fasted, he endured isolation, he was instructed in ritual memory and ancestral law. Only after this preparation could the Masque Pacha, the red fringed crown, be placed upon his head. This crown was not decorative, it was sacred. It signified submission to Inti as much as authority over people. The Sapa Inca did not rule alone. He stood at the center of the system of reciprocity known as Aina. His role was to ensure that labor, food, and protection moved fairly through the empire. If he failed, imbalance followed. Famine, unrest, or natural disaster were not viewed as consequence. They were signs that the crown had lost alignment. In Inca belief, a ruler who ruled unjustly did not merely fail politically, he offended the cosmos. For this reason, even after death, Sapa Incas were not discarded. Their mummified bodies remained present in ritual life. Former rulers were consulted, honored, and included in decisions. The crown was not a single moment, it was a continuity of obligation across generations. When a Sapa Inca ascended, he inherited more than territory. He inherited the duty to keep the world moving correctly. The sun did not guarantee success. It demanded service. The Inca crown teaches that worthiness is not dominance. It is the ability to hold authority without severing relationship to land, ancestors, and sky. To stand crowned was to stand accountable to everything. Story 4. Rama receives the crown after exile. In Hindu tradition, the crown is not proof of worth. It is recognition of it. Rama was born a prince of Ayodhya, eldest son of King Dasharatha, and from childhood he embodied the virtues expected of a ruler. He was disciplined, compassionate, devoted to duty, and restrained in power. Yet Hindu epic does not allow virtue to ascend easily. Worthiness must be tested where comfort cannot protect it. On the eve of Rama's coronation, fate intervened. Bound by an earlier vow, King Dasharatha was forced to banish Rama to the forest for 14 years and crown another son in his place. The decision shattered the kingdom. Rama could have resisted. He could have claimed the throne by force or by public support. He did not. Rama accepted exile without protest. He relinquished the crown willingly, placing dharma above entitlement. His wife, Sita, chose to follow him. His brother, Lakshman, refused to abandon him. Together they entered the wilderness stripped of status, protection, and ceremony. The forest became Rama's proving ground. There he encountered sages, demons, spirits, and kings beyond the reach of law. He defended the vulnerable, upheld justice without authority, and maintained restraint even when wrong. When Sita was abducted by Ravana, king of Lanka, Rama did not act from vengeance alone. He acted to restore order broken by arrogance and abuse of power. The war against Ravana was not simply heroic conquest, it was moral correction. Ravana was brilliant, learned, and powerful, but he ruled without humility. Rama defeated him not through excess force, but through adherence to right action, alliance, and discipline. Victory came as consequence, not entitlement. After 14 years, Rama returned to Ayodhya. The people welcomed him not because he was the rightful heir by birth, but because he had demonstrated kingship without a crown. He had governed himself when no one was watching. He had upheld duty when it cost him everything. Only then was he crowned. The coronation was not an elevation of status, but a restoration of balance. Rama ruled as Mairada Purushottama, the ideal man, not because he was flawless, but because he consistently chose responsibility over desire. Hindu tradition emphasizes that Rama's greatest act was not victory in battle. It was obedience to Dharma, even when it demanded loss. The crown followed character. It did not create it. Rama's story teaches that worthiness is proven long before authority is granted. To stand crowned is to have already lived as though the crown were absent. Only those who can do so are so fit to wear it. Hey everybody, welcome back in. You are back with Jane and Mark, and today is January 29th, the crown. We are on week 4, the return, rounding up our January theme of the seeker crossing the veil. Today is the crown. Worthiness claimed in the daily thread is that across these traditions, the crown is never seized without cost. Horus earns rule through endurance and balance. Irish kings are answered by the land itself. The Sapa Inca bears the sun's will as obligation, not glory. Rama returns crowned only after choosing duty over entitlement. Every story reveals that authority follows character, not the reverse. Worthiness is lived long before it is recognized. That is our daily thread for today. Before we jump into our first story, the lesson today was you were always meant for this. You were always meant for this. So the first one, the Egyptian one, Horus crowned. Horus obviously had to go through quite a bit to get the throne. And it would have been disastrous had he not. Horus, he had to fight his uncle after all of this happened with his father and mother, and I mean, they're deities and everything. But he had to really earn it. Right. And the consequence wasn't just he wouldn't have leadership. All of Egypt would have been in chaos. The Egyptian crown myths emphasize worthiness through balance.
How many years did Horus lead or rule? Do you know? Because I know, like, I saw this really cool thing on the Egyptian kings, and the further back you go, the longer they reigned.
Thousands of years.
Yeah.
The crown myths emphasize worthiness through balance for Egypt. He's crowned not because he is flawless, but because he proves capable of holding power without surrendering to chaos. So he didn't need to destroy Set. The crown belongs to one who can bear responsibility without corruption. So corruption needs to be there. You just need to be able to turn away from it. I didn't know that there were so many parallels between Horus and Jesus. Horus was born on December 25th. He was symbolized by the star.
Well, like the Knights Templar
he was a virgin birth, miraculous deeds, and resurrection. He had 12 disciples.
Interesting.
But it's just cool to see the similarities in the numbers, in the sequence, in the situations. It's kind of what I was thinking.
I just saw a video on the whole thing with the numbers. So it was talking about like Jesus's death and stuff, right? And Yeshua, Jesus, whatever. So it was April 3rd or whatever at 3 something.
And he was 33.
He was 33 years old. He was risen on the 3rd day. There was just a whole bunch of threes. And it was pretty much just like, look at all the symbolism.
Horus
of all the
was 3,000 years earlier. Horus doesn't cast it out. Doesn't take it away completely to where it's like, oh, I've never been tempted before. I've never had the opportunity to be corrupt. Because I think that's more dangerous than having it there and building a resistance to it. So that also was emphasizing the gods determining who was rightful to rule as well. So we saw that with a couple other cultures as well, is when the deities choose that you are unfit to rule. But this one, they chose Horus
Right.
through all of these tasks.
That's because he proved himself, though. I mean, it says it right in the story. He was. That's what I liked about the story, and that's what I like about Horus is the fact that he shows that it doesn't matter if somebody's watching him. Have integrity when someone's not looking. I respect that more than anything.
Yeah, and Horus didn't just get it. It wasn't just like an easy vote. He lost stuff.
Yeah.
You know, he was tried before he got it, and then he was chosen to rule. The Irish one, where it said that the stone did not care for lineage alone, it answered truth. So to stand it, Tara.
Yeah. But what was the stone exactly? Because that part, it didn't resonate 100% just because I wasn't sure what the stone was. I did appreciate the fact that it was talking about like the land. A lot of it doesn't matter who you are, what you are. If you're not good for it or us, you're out. I like that.
So 1.5 meters tall, standing of white granite. Legends say the stone roared when touched by the rightful king.
Vibrated to where it actually resonated as a sound. What if I go over there and I touch it and it sings? Does that mean they got to make me king? Oh, why not? What if I'm king?
So the Irish crown myth emphasizes sobriety through harmony. A true king does not force obedience. He is confirmed by the land itself. Worthiness is proven not by power held, but by balance maintained. So we can have that in today's day and age. And you just had this the other day that you told me about how when we are doing stuff in our day to day and it just is not working.
Yeah.
Like something we've done 1,000 times. And it's just for whatever reason, it's not working. It's difficult. And you kind of emphasized that the other day of not forcing it, you know?
Right.
And there are times where we have to get stuff done. But when both of us are sitting here flustered, it's not doing anything for us.
Right.
And so this one was, the stone, right, it would ring if the rightful heir came. So, it would still do that today.
Wouldn't that be crazy, though?
Well, maybe it's not a king. Maybe it's just a leader.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying.
And so the stone would see it as someone that would lead them back
that's
into
what the
harmony.
story is, too, though. It says that it's not someone that is like a lot of these stories are not necessarily the king of blood, but the king of rightful what's best for the country.
You couldn't persuade the land to take you.
Yeah.
You couldn't persuade the rock or the stone to make it change its mind. What the stone decided, it decided. Story 3. This was the Inca one. As well, mentioned how the land received the ruler. How they received him, and that's why he was able to rule. Because he didn't force it either. He was accepted, and so the Inca crown traditions emphasize authority as a sacred duty. It is your duty to carry on our lineage, to carry on our tribe, our people. And they ruled not to glorify themselves, but to maintain cosmic balance.
Yeah.
Another thing we don't think of either is outside of ourselves. It's kind of cool that when looking back in history, we see these ancient civilizations and they were hunter-gatherers or like less civilized, yet they had these huge monuments and they were more focused on things way beyond themselves. And we are when we know more.
Right.
Like we are
Allegedly.
very much, I'm worried about myself, my town, my state, my country, whatever, worried about that. But these people were so worried about that working back in.
Yeah.
It was like what's way, way beyond myself. And then the being, whatever the ultimate being was. Like those are the three. And again, there's the number 3 where you see so much of.
Yeah.
Especially with the holy stuff or the spirituality.
Mind, body, soul. It's all 3s.
So their worthiness was proven through service, restraint, and unbroken relationship with the living world. I wonder what it would be like to be in these cultures and to see that the animals were squeamish around somebody.
That's definitely got to be a sign, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
like how you see people that dogs don't like.
It's not a
Just
trip.
dogs just don't like them. And for whatever reason it may be. And no, it's not always like the worst of the worst. It really isn't.
Dude, I had a friend that Boomer liked for a while, and then all of a sudden, just one day, he came over, and then he just barked at him like crazy. And I was,
Animals sometimes just really gravitate towards certain people. And why I was saying that it's not always like they dislike people because there's something wrong with them. Fear is a huge factor in animals. And I would think that that would be a sign early on. If you're looking for a ruler, like let's say, we need a ruler that's going to be strong.
yeah.
Because we have been suffering with war for however long, or battles, or scarcity of resources, or we need someone intelligent. But you need someone that's courageous. And so you would be watching that, like the fear and how animals respond to.
Yeah.
So that would be a major thing as well, fighting against stuff and being afraid. I also enjoy the fact that it's service. That's what we're supposed to do.
Yeah, we should be in service to one another because truly, like, if you really stop and take a breath and think, if I were in service to as many people as I could be, right? Just think about that for yourselves. Man, that's a lot of people. But now think, how many people are actually going to need stuff because everybody's doing the same exact thing? Not many. It would be like that chill going around, like, we wouldn't be working like we are.
I just saw another video where that was happening. Like the community that they're pulling kids out to do homeschooling, but they're all buying pieces of property or whatever, and they're growing their own food, raising the animals, homeschooling their kids, and kind of just staying away from all the politics and the...
Yeah, because they just don't trust it, you know? And why should we trust it? They've given us no reason to trust them. And if people think they can trust them, they're crazy. I'm sorry. They're just, it's
not the system. It's just hard to break out of systems.
Right. People
it's
are
just...
scared too. There could be all the signs in the world, and they're just... and it is scary, and I don't fault them for that. But I had to wake up to realize that I'm not going to continue to play the game. I won't be a puppet anymore.
Another part of that unbroken relationship, so it was also about holding authority without breaking that relationship with your ancestors in the sky and the land. So to still hold that leadership, that authority, while not crossing that line,
Yeah.
So that respect, but to be respected by those things, to where your authority is trusted. Because that's a huge thing, is that you can have a leader with great ideas. You can have a king, a ruler that could do great things. If the people that are meant to follow don't trust them, don't take those risks when they're asked to, or don't follow, it doesn't matter. Story 4. Before you can have your kingdom and get your crown, you're going to be in exile first.
Right.
You're going to go out and see what it's like to be nothing.
But he didn't go with nothing, though.
No, but he wasn't a king. And I feel like in that, to have been someone that was in the monarchy and to just have that stripped away, his wife and his brother came with.
So it must have been a younger brother then, obviously. Right? Or a bastard brother.
Yeah, it's just someone that refused to abandon him.
Right.
So he not only went out and found himself, but he just experienced life. He experienced life without the power of the crown before he got the crown. I think that was kind of showcasing that he didn't need it. When he didn't need it, he was worthy of it finally. And not that he wasn't worthy of it before. I mean, he obviously walked away from it knowing that, like, this is what he had to do. But just imagine what he learned from the sages and the demons and the spirits and other kings. Like, there are people that have a crown and can have followers, but some of the best followers haven't had crowns.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't been the king or the queen or the monarch or the dictator. They're just someone with a voice that was worth following. All 4 of these stories were people worth following, whether they had the crown or not.
Right.
And they all did earn it. I really wish that this aspect of leadership was looked at more than the bad. Because, yeah, we don't want to forget the past because we want to learn from it. We want to grow from it. But at what point do we keep telling so much about the bad rulers that we just kind of don't? I mean, we need to be seen with more positive, to live up to the positive, rather than to learn from the negatives and like get sneaky and stuff. That's what I just think it does.
Yeah, when you focus on the bad, that's all you're going to see. And I think that's probably why China does their whole thing, where you don't really hear about their pitfalls and the negative, because they choose to not let that out, except for behind closed doors, because you should have that.
Well, and there's also the people that are, there still is that idea that we don't trust other places.
I mean,
other countries, we don't even trust our own governments. Like, and that's all over the place.
but why would you trust somebody when you know what you're doing to your own people? Like, seriously, like if they're doing half or less than half, even a quarter of the stuff that we think they're doing, of course nobody's going to believe them. Okay, wink, wink, you're not going to do dumb stuff. The show we're watching. Like, you're only good enough to me unless I don't need you. I'm going to keep you close just in case.
Yeah, I'm going to have you in my back pocket.
Right. But
in case I need you, but until I do need you,
yeah, you're just there, just hang out.
Yeah, play with my other pieces, get everything else in line.
You can't fault anybody for not trusting anybody, because everybody's playing the same game. Until you can fully just be like, you know what? Here are my cards, and this is the truth. And then be ready to be persecuted or like bad stuff to happen against that. But don't think that it's going to happen, if that makes sense. But be ready for it. But I saw some cool things where it says, look at the worst case scenario and plan it out. What does that look like? Worst case scenario. Oh my God, if this happens, this is the worst. And then start planning the opposite way. Then you work backwards. And then think, what's the best? Like, okay, this is the worst. But then, what's a little bit less than that? What's a little bit less than that? So then no matter what, no matter how far down you go, more than likely you're not going to hit the worst case scenario anyways. So it's going to be like, oh man, that wasn't bad. And I already have a plan going this way. So boom. Like, that's just all we needed.
All 4 of these stories were being crowned by character. None of them proved it to a group or their country and stuff, but they proved it to themselves first. They weren't proving it to like an institution, I guess is what I mean.
And they weren't really trying to prove it either. They were just kind of living their lives, right? And it's not like they were going out and trying to conquer and be that like savage beast and
no, I think they were just proving what they needed for themselves.
Right.
So whether it be endurance or conquest or patience, they were out there doing it.
Right.
But they were showcasing it through their character and their character alone. Not where like you see a lot of the historical accounts, like the show we're watching.
Right.
Where that was all bestowed on you by the institutions and by bloodline, and that it didn't matter who you were.
Right.
That's showcasing too, probably why all of the royalty died out was because none of them gave up when they should have. So the reflection question for today is, where do I finally stand tall in my own worth? So where do I finally stand tall in my own worth? And think about that today. We're going to stand tall when we do it. Where do I finally stand tall? When you make that movement, what is it in? Could be like organization. You know, I stand tall in my own worth and how I organize things or how I speak to people. It could be any type of thing.
Right. Because something small to you or them or, and I'm saying you to the person like right here on the other side that's making hopefully eye contact with me. Like, what is important to you to do? Like,
what is it you're finally standing tall in your own worth with? So it usually is something important to you that may seem small because it's just what I do.
But yeah.
That might be something that someone's missing that they're like, I wish I... It's usually something super unique that other people notice and really are attracted to.
Yeah, like, that's cool that you bring that up because, like, when I walked out, you asked me to feed the cats, so I walked that way through there. And then I walked out and you're working on the book stuff and you're doing your thing. It just reminded me of before, and that just kind of, like, made me Twitter pated about you. Like, it just...
What? Wait, what?
Yeah. And then you're, like, doing the work, and I was just like, man, I'm lucky. Like, she's the reason, like, we're going to be... I was driving home kind of giggling, thinking about the stuff that you've done, like, getting this podcast set up. Because somebody, a video had came across on my phone that I heard, and it was talking about some guy, he was making, like, a seven-figure income because he started some podcast. And it just made me laugh, and I was like, you have no clue what you set us up for, I just appreciate it, and just seeing all the little things,
Thanks, babe.
No, thank you. I appreciate you.
Okay, so today for the daily task, you're gonna wear or hold something symbolic today as a reminder of responsibility you already carry. So we are gonna wear or hold something symbolic. So it
Stand
could be
tall.
clothes, jewelry. It could be a bunch of different things, honestly. Because you could hold. I know my friend Hazel. She holds crystals sometimes, and we'll just put them in our pockets. And whenever she gets fidgety, we'll hold them in her hand. But something symbolic to you. And then we're gonna remember the responsibilities that we already carry. And this isn't like I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Right. The responsibility to just get up out of bed, like it's a privilege to wake up, but it's also a responsibility to get up. Yeah. To yourself, like that's something. Right. So if you are struggling thinking of what responsibilities you're doing well with, just start there.
And take the little wins, Don't think that you have to have everything. Just like break it down. Like if you're having a hard time that day, be like, okay, what have I done? What did I accomplish? And then make a little list and then write down what you did and then put a check mark through it or cross it off or scribble it out. It's proven that'll give you that little bit of dopamine dump in your brain. It's really good for you, I guess. Making lists, and obviously you can attest to it. Yeah,
I love
she
lists.
loves
I'll
lists.
Put anything. I'll put make a list on my list.
She does, and
then I'll go edit list. Add additional things onto list, and then I'll be like, wow, I've already accomplished 3 things. Time for my first snack. Like I pace out the day through snacks a lot of the time. I reward myself with snacks.
Well, you know what, folks? You heard it here first. Make a list and make sure to put your snacks in there. You should put water because I know multiple times someone forgets to put water in their list.
I need to drink more water.
Speaking of drinking water, make sure you put love into your water when you drink it. I always speak love in our water 3, 6, 9 times. That means 3 times, 6 times, 9 times. That's what I do.
Responsibility we don't talk about nearly enough, and
Tell me.
feel like, before I say this, I want to go back to the things that you're doing well. We downplay our achievements, though, too, in today's society because we boast about everything. We feel like we can't, at least myself, I feel like I can't be happy when I finally am successful in something I've been trying at. Yeah. And as friends and family and loved ones, absolutely, we should share that. I love hearing from my friends that Like they're about to be in this intern stage, and wow, I'm exhausted. I'm working this many hours. I'm doing this many like fitness things, but they aren't stopping.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been doing that for months. They're like, oh, I'm burnt out. I don't think I can do it anymore. And then to be like, oh, I'm almost at this intern stage though. It'll be a little bit tough then. And I'm like, yeah, but you thought this was tough. And now you're like, fine. It's just fun to cheer people on. So sometimes it is exciting to get that text from someone that they've achieved something.
Yeah.
And so maybe we take a little bit of time to reach out to people and check on their achievements and share ours.
Right.
Hey, I did this, you know.
Yeah.
Finally got this done. I mean, I shaved one of our dogs today.
She did.
And I think I did pretty all right.
Yeah, she only got one little bald spot.
Yeah, it'll take practice.
Yeah, but at least she doesn't look gross.
Yeah, we just need to have a stand for her.
Yeah,
Like a little
just so
swing for
everybody
her to
knows, I don't know if you had dogs that are just complete lazy, like, what would you, like, just, she goes Limp Biscuit on you. You're trying to wash her and just,
She's like so
and then
afraid,
cries.
but you don't know if she's actually afraid or if she's faking that she's afraid. And she's just like this helpless, won't do anything.
oh, and then, like, you try to move her because she's a little dog and she cries. Like, so you're like, oh, did it hurt her? And you're like, no, just, you breathe at her wrong and she's like, nah.
Yeah, she irritated Bodhi earlier. Bodhi like snarled at her
Yeah.
and got up and moved from the couch away
He's
from
like,
her.
this dog.
And he's like, this, it's
Well,
just not
she's
your
just an
day
old
today.
woman. She's an old lady. She's an old dog. There's not much you can do. What year did I get her? 2011?
Dang.
Yeah. She's an old one. Her and Boom Bostic were partners the whole life.
It's just a little dog thing. I really just think it is.
No, it is.
And
I agree with you.
like we had corgis and stuff. If they were not broken in week one, they were gone. Like it wasn't a long thing.
They're not good dogs.
Corgis?
Any little dog.
I loved our corgis, but no, they're little attitude, sassy,
like
frassy, bougie. But we can at least enjoy the ones that we have.
They're here. I will love her until she's gone.
Oh, but a big
nuts.
responsibility that I was thinking of is our responsibility to just enjoy life.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what walks of life we come from.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has a responsibility to enjoy it.
Right.
So we can like hate on each other as much as like we want to.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it's our responsibility to love each other.
Mm-hmm.
And no, I'm not saying that we love someone that hurts us.
Yeah.
You know, we spend time with them, but I mean, there are billions of people in this world, and we're concerned about 5 that upset us
Mm-hmm.
versus
Yeah.
the thousands that would relate to us.
Right. That makes
It's just
so
like
much
it is our
sense.
responsibility to start living our life and our responsibility to ourselves.
Man, just to think all these years, not necessarily wasted, but in a way, kind of.
Unappreciated almost.
Yeah, just, man, there were so many times I could have just done more. And that whole, you gotta save to do this, that, and the next, but then you forget to live because you didn't spend anything. And man, if I spent anything, I didn't set myself up for anything anyways. I was just irresponsible with how I did it.
Yeah, but how many things come up that you just have to put money down for? You know, the unexpected things to where it just starts.
Well, and that's the part about where you truly are manifesting it and don't realize it. It's when you think that everything's got to be that struggle, you know. Oh, this is going to be a struggle. Like, of course something happened. Like, if you say of course something happened, that means you were expecting it. That means you made that happen.
A lot of people say that, though, I think nowadays, because they're embarrassed that they were hopeful. I know I've done that. I've been like, of course, but I really, really was hopeful.
One of those, of course.
And
those
it was just,
hurt.
ooh.
Yeah.
And so that's when we know our worth. It just didn't align.
Yeah.
Like that
Well, it
doesn't
wasn't
make us
supposed
any
to, though.
doesn't make us unworthy.
No.
It just didn't align, and that's hard because we do, just as humans, I think, want to see the end game.
Right.
We want to see the end result. We want to know that it's going to be okay, not hope that it is.
Right.
But that hope kind of feels good, though, too.
Yeah.
When it is fulfilled. But our application for today, so you're going to think about, where do I finally stand tall in my worth? And then we're going to wear or hold something symbolic to remind us of the responsibilities we already carry. And then our application is just that the crown does not make you worthy. Your choices already have. Keyword, they already. So your choices have already made you worthy. Kind of hard to hear when you're not feeling that way. But that's when you need to hear it. That's when you need to believe it. So you've got to say it, as cheesy as it is. When you're feeling good, like, you've got to say it and believe it, because it's not the days that you're feeling good that you need to hear it.
No, and you got to remember and how you feel. Like, do as much as you can to visualize and feel and get stuck in that feeling when you are feeling it. So then the days that you're not, you can try to visualize and feel that feeling and put yourself back into that. Yeah, we'll do those things. I'll stand up and tall.
Yeah. Stand tall in your worth. And, the crown is heavy. The responsibilities that we have, they're heavy. But we have to stand tall with them, because we chose to have these responsibilities.
One way or another.
So that's all we have for today, January 29th. We have 2 more days left of January. And then we are in a whole other theme. So we are at the Seeker Crossing the Veil for 2 more days in the return. And we will see you tomorrow. Thanks for joining us on Folklore and Flourish.
See you guys. Thank you. Love you.
Thank you for walking this journey with me today. These stories are more than folklore. They are the heartbeat of our world building, the inspiration behind our characters, and the soul of the Legends Reborn Chronicles. By exploring these tales, we honor the past, ignite the present, and breathe life into the legends we're creating together. To see more of Mark and I, as well as additional scenes, discussions, and healing, check the links below that will lead you to our various social media platforms. Please also feel free to ask any questions or leave any comments in the episode below or in future episodes to come. We would love to hear from you. Until next time, may your path be guided by wonder, curiosity, and the magic of the stories that came before us. Blessings, and I'll see you on our next folklore journey.